A very good morning to you. Good morning, Uganda. This is UBC TV coming to you live from Nile Avenue. If you have just joined the show, you're welcome. And if you've been with us since the start, thank you for sticking around and watching the program. My name is Julie Nantaba Musisi. And like last week, we did share that 5th July is International Day of celebrating cooperatives. And in Uganda, it will be celebrated in Fort Portal City. Preparations are underway, but we cannot do that without talking about the different things cooperatives bring to the table in Uganda's growth. And that is one like driving inclusive and sustainable solutions for a better Uganda and a better world altogether. Now, to do that, in studio with me is Afande Allan Nshimiye Rugaya Mpunzi, and he is from Exodus Police SACCO. But as always, the usual suspects from Uganda Cooperative Alliance, Jacqueline Zawedde Ariho is with me as well. She is the communications officer of Uganda Cooperatives Alliance, and she is here as well to speak into this matter. Starting with you, Jacqueline, good morning.
Good morning, Juliet, and once again, I'm happy to be here.
Right. Good morning, Afande.
Good morning, Julie.
Now, when I met Afande, he was so chill. He was just like, come, Allan. And usually the impression we get of Afande is when you see them in their garb, you just want to salute and say, Afande, Jumbo, sir. But it's so good to interact with an Afande at such a human level, yet in uniform and in all guard of honor. And I'll start with you, Afande. Last week, we did get the opportunity to talk about the International Day of Cooperatives. But from your perspective, why is it important to Uganda?
Well, good morning, viewers. The International Day of Cooperatives has been celebrated since actually 1923. But in 1992, the United Nations, through Resolution 4990, adopted that the first Saturday of July, and I think it started around there. That adoption got the 5th July 1995, and it was gazetted as International Day of Cooperatives. This day is very important to Uganda because cooperatives is not a new thing in Uganda. Even before the coming of colonialism, people have been cooperating. When you hear in Uganda, you have things of Bulungi Bwansi. That is all about cooperation. And Uganda is predominantly a society that cooperates, families, extended families. So the day is very important for Uganda because we have a huge base of cooperatives, and all these cooperatives have an input into the economy of the country, in social welfare, and in the level of bringing up development, because the cooperatives in all their form, the agriculture cooperatives and the financial cooperatives known as the SACCOs, they all have an input. They contribute to the society and to the country. So it is very important to have this day in strengthening the bond. And the sixth principle of cooperatives, the cooperation among cooperatives, it is a chance in the year to have all cooperatives come together and share ideas and promote, showcase what they are doing and strengthen their movement. So, and inspire others to join the cooperative movement. So in case anyone out there is not in a cooperative, this is the chance. And moreover, 2025 has also been gazetted as the year of cooperatives. So if you are not in a cooperative, this is the chance to join one and be part of the ever-growing movement.
All right. I'll come to you, Jacqueline. I have two questions for you. One he has actually raised in regards to joining a cooperative. But let me start with 5th July, which is the big day that we are looking forward to. What has UCA prepared?
Thank you so much, Julie. And once again, good morning, viewers. Oh, it is such a big day.
Right.
And we want to make it as glamorous as possible. And I suppose that we have actually done so. First of all, leading to that day, ahead of that day, the actual day, which you ably said that is going to happen on 5th of July, which is a Saturday, there are a number of activities that we have planned. And one of them, we are going to start off with a press conference at the Media Center, and it's going to be presided over by the Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives. And here we've gathered a number of, because it's the media that actually are going to help us to promote this day. And as much as we are promoting, we are doing the background, promotion with all the cooperatives that are hosting us. That is Busaiga and Toro Dairy, Busaiga SACCO and Toro Dairy, as well as other cooperatives who have helped us, who have supported in actually promoting this day. We also have the media as a very, very big, arm in promoting this day. So we have prepared a press conference at the Media Center, and we are going to have maybe over 40 media houses in and around Uganda, and some even coming from other regions. I mean around Kampala, and also some that are coming from other regions. Then we've also prepared a blood donation drive, and this is countrywide. We are launching it this Friday, and the Minister of State for Cooperatives, Honorable Gume Frederick Ngobi, will be the one to actually launch it and preside over it. And it's going to happen in Kaliro district. So here we want to call upon every cooperator to come and donate blood, because our target is to collect as much as 1,000 units of blood on that day.
And it's very important.
And it's very important.
Yes.
It is giving back to the community, but also the people themselves are giving back, because every time you donate blood, you're giving back to the community and the society as well. So we have worked together with the Blood Bank of Uganda, and we have put together a very good activity. And I know the media will also be there to showcase what we are going to do. So when we launch it, then it will go countrywide. So we expect blood donation in Kampala, in Toro, in Gulu, in Bale, everywhere there's going to be blood donation. And we call upon people to come, because this is something that we are doing as cooperators, but also for the good of the community. Then that will be 27th, this Friday. But now we've also launched a tree planting campaign. And this time we want to say that cooperators are very, very involved in climate management, in managing our environment, protecting our environment. That is why we want every cooperator out there. We call upon every cooperator out there. Get a tree and plant it. It doesn't matter where you plant it, maybe at the back of your compound, maybe in front of your office, maybe in your garden. Plant a tree. Get a coffee plant, a coffee seedling. Get a cocoa seedling. Get any tree, and you plant it, and then you can just take a small video, just 1-minute video, and then you send it to us. There is an award that is waiting for you. Why do we do it? Because we want to show that, you see, farmers, they depend on the environment, on the climate. Now, every time we cut a tree and we do not plant another tree in place, we are spoiling, we are killing the environment. So we want the cooperators and of course other people to be, to take the lead in making sure that our environment is well managed. So that is why we are saying, take the lead, get your phone and take a video, just a small video, as you're doing what? As you're planting a tree. Bring it to UCA. You're going to get an award. That one is an assurance.
I think I am now going to work for this award. It might be so huge as
and
money.
On top of that, Julie, we also have prepared a symposium.
Right.
Now, the symposium is going to happen down in Fort Portal. and it's happening on the 4th of July. That is now the day before. And we want all cooperatives, because it's going to be massive. We are going to educate cooperators. But you know, as I talk now, we have already signed an agreement with Moshi University, a memorandum of understanding, and we are going to start having cooperative education in our universities. So it is starting from Tanzania and is now going to trickle into Uganda. So now this is the information that the cooperators need to understand when they are there, the symposium. Talk about climate finance. Those are some of the topics that we are going to have at the symposium. Talk about digitization in cooperatives. That is something that is still a myth, like I always say, among our cooperatives, not even cooperatives only, but the entire world. We need to understand, how do you digitize your processes in order to economically be sustainable? You get it? So that is one of the topics. The other is financial inclusion. We want to see how our cooperatives are going to, and we have lined up very many people who are going to present. Talk about Stanbic Bank is going to present. And by the way, Stanbic Bank is one of our big sponsors. And we thank you so much, Stanbic Bank, for supporting and standing in for us on this day. Talk about Bank of Uganda. We want Bank of Uganda to be there and present to us that financial inclusion part. Talk about the professors at Makerere University. So it is going to be very massive. And then at the end, we shall now have the actual day.
Right.
I'm here to say things that are going to happen there. But I just want to say, cooperators, you come on Saturday, 5th July, you will see for yourself.
Right. You talked about the press conference. When is it going to be?
That one is going to be on 1st July.
Oh,
which is a Tuesday next week.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Looking forward to it. And that big price of planting a tree, it must be money or a vehicle. I think
we shall not divulge, but you know that the moment you plant a tree, you might even get an award from even the president himself, but we shall not divulge that one.
Interesting, interesting. Coming to you, Afande, I was supposed to ask this to Jacqueline, but let me ask it to you instead. And you talked about this particular day of International Day of Cooperatives as one that should be used as an opportunity to join a cooperative. Explain in simple terms, layman terms, to someone viewing, how does one join a cooperative? How simple is it? How hard is it?
Oh, well, we call it arriving under fire.
Okay.
And I say it passed my mind to say I'm also here to because I'm representing the chairman of the Exodus SACCO as a police Exodus SACCO. Senior Commissioner of Police, Dr. Omoding Wilson Otuna. And yesterday, he planted a tree.
Did he take his video?
Yes, we did that, and we also launched the group loan facility product. And we began with our women, police women from Kamwacha. So if you are out there, a police officer or wife or husband to a police officer, and you haven't really engaged yourself in all SACCO activities, please, this is the opportunity. Come to Exodus SACCO and get your services. Also bring your greetings from the Inspector General of Police, who is the patron of our SACCO.
Right.
Now, joining a cooperative is quite easy because the number one to know is that cooperatives are on voluntary and open basis. That if you come identify a cooperative and their aspirations meet your aspirations, then you can join, study about them, study about their conditions. For example, Exodus SACCO, if I take ourselves as an example, one, you have to be a member of the Uganda Police Force, whether civilian staff, because we have civilian staff as well, or the regular police staff. And your spouses can also join, and your children can also join. If you identify any other SACCO, you only need to study their bylaws And if you agree with them, then you join that SACCO. So it is pretty easy to join a SACCO. Now, there are people who think that maybe you have to identify a big SACCO or what, a big cooperative. You have to first be a very huge farmer to join a cooperative. But even at a small scale, like I said, we sometimes think cooperatives are these massive organizations, but we have even at a smaller level, people are calling themselves associations, clubs. All those are forms of cooperatives, although they haven't regularized the way they work according to the cooperative law. So it is very easy to join a cooperative for as long as you understand your aspirations meet their aspirations. You join and you be part of them, and you carry out the functions.
Right. Yeah. You did shed a bit of light about Exodus Police SACCO. What inspired the formation of Exodus Police SACCO?
Well, I think 1995, the welfare status of individual police officers was not something to be proud about.
Right.
And there was a huge poverty, and of course the number one social challenge, the number one challenge in the world is now poverty. And we got an inspiration when we had officers from UPDF, beginning with Afande Katumba Wamala heading the police, but to effectively bring about Exodus SACCO, Afande Kaihura, when he was the IGP, brought that inspiration, him being one of the founders of Wazalendo. And it's not that police didn't have any form of maybe grouping or what. They had an association, but it was a private company. It is a private company. So the spirit of cooperatives is that people must be in control. You don't need a private company where there are only a few people who are in charge. You can't question them. It is their company. So to copy the good trend of Wazalendo, Exodus SACCO came into play, and police officers joined, and that is way back in 2005. And up to now, up to this point, it grew from a nominal 47 members who started it to now boasting of over 43,000 members. So it was an inspiration to say, if a police officer needed, say, credit, a loan, why would they need to go to a bank to be charged very high interest, go to loan sharks to be bled financially? Instead, they said, you come home, get your loan at a very low rate of 1.4% per month. It's about 14% per year. And so that was the inspiration, that police officers, just like maybe our big brothers and sisters in the UPDF, need their own home. And that is how it came to be. And there was quite a very big revolution in 2020. Prior to 2020, there were very big challenges with the SACCO. But with the coming on board of Dr. Omoding and Dr. Namutebi Hadija, who is chairperson of the SACCO, caused a massive revolution and grew the SACCO from having only 800 million in the accounts to having over 60 billion. So we are talking about a financial revolution where police officers are benefiting. And now with the inclusion of the group loan product, we are very sure that our trajectory is going to shoot higher. And we invite members, or if you know you're a wife to police staff, you tell your husband that I want to join Exodus SACCO. If you are a child, if your father or mother is a police officer, say, Daddy, Mommy, I want to join Police Exodus SACCO. If you're civilian staff, same thing. And in future, we are going to, because we work with the public through community policing,
true.
even you, Julie, you're going to be invited to join. Or simply you can find a police officer and you can join with them. So Police Exodus SACCO is there to improve the welfare of the police officer, the staff, civilian staff, and their families, so that we can all get out of poverty.
Right, that's very profound. You are watching UBC TV, Good Morning Uganda. And on this Wednesday, we are looking forward to celebrating the International Day of Cooperatives, and in Uganda, the Ugandan way. That's why we have amazing people in studio to speak into this, but also the whole picture about cooperatives and why, anyway, are cooperatives celebrated. In studio with me is Mrs. Jacqueline Zawedde, and she is a representative from the UCA, and Afande Allan Nshimiye Rugayampuzi, who is from Exodus SACCO. Now, somebody comes through and says, I think we need producer cooperatives organized from national level up to grassroots, and that you must be, okay, you did not leave your name, I can't tell your name, but thank you so much for getting in touch. The number is 0709 602 592. Thank you for the show. How do I send the plant? This is to Jacqueline. How should the plant be sent? She will definitely share how you are going to share your plant. And this is Reverend Captain David Katenya from Boyikwe. Thank you for the program. I wanted to inquire from you that of which number, okay, which number to send the plant. This side we really practice tree planting. Right, Jacqueline will be sharing that. Is it possible to share that now, where the videos can be sent to?
Yes, you're not sharing a plant. You're sharing a video as you're planting. That, just to be specific there. We have a platform. Yes. Cooperators do have a platform. And I'm glad to say that I'm one of the people who manages that platform. So in case you do not mind, I can leave my number so that they can just save it. Just send me a small hi, and then they can send me that video on my WhatsApp.
Please go ahead and share the number.
My number is 0776 31 2250. I can say that again. Yes. 0776 31 2250. Now, that number, as much as it is mine personal, but I use it for, official work because I'm the communications and marketing officer at Uganda Cooperative Alliance. So you can share all your videos on the number 24/7. I don't mind, as long as there are videos of you planting a tree and not something else. Yes. I would be very happy to get all those videos.
Right. Yes. Hopefully you've noted the number, jotted it and saved it so that, yes, you stand a chance to win yourself that big prize, as Jacqueline rightly put it. And that big prize is really scratching my brain. I think I should, because surely it should be big. Afande, coming to you, from your experience, how do SACCOs empower individuals who might otherwise have been excluded, especially from the current financial systems as they're running the world?
Okay, we are talking about SACCOs, but SACCOs are only part of cooperatives.
Part of, yes.
Yes. I heard someone talking about producer cooperatives, and my supervisors here from the Uganda Cooperative Alliance, they take over the supervision and guidance of all cooperatives.
Right.
And that includes producer cooperatives, consumer cooperatives, and now the savings and credit cooperatives. So to have inclusion in the savings and in the SACCOs is that SACCOs, according to the Cooperatives Act as amended in 2020, they do not discriminate with gender, race, religion, or even politics, since this is a political season. You cannot form a SACCO basing on political affiliation. That would not be as per law. So to have financial inclusion is that SACCOs must be open and voluntary. And when you are giving out, let's say, a loan, you are not going to look at somebody's height. You are only going to look at their commitment to the SACCO and how they have been participating. And that is one of the principles. Your member participation determines the level of credit you are worth. Your credit worthiness is determined by your level of participation. In other countries, the SACCOs are known as credit unions, but it's
pretty much the same thing.
It's pretty much the same thing. So to have financial inclusion is that we don't want to leave anyone behind in this. And the president of the country, who's the #1 cooperator, has been saying this, that at one time when he was in Tungamo, and that thing is always on my mind, he said, there are some people who are saying, I go. Now I go when I'm pushing you like a wheelbarrow. Now if I go, the one who is pushing you, I drop it and then you fall down.
Wow, yeah. Yes.
That's what he meant.
What a metaphor, yeah.
Yeah, that you should come into the money economy, join a SACCO. It doesn't matter if it is at your workplace, if it is at the village level, the district, if you have maybe, now there are powerful old boys and girls SACCOs.
Yes.
I know one of, I think the biggest should be Namiryango, or something like that, Young Old Boys Association SACCO. Very powerful. So it does not matter where you are. I hope here at UBC there is a SACCO. If not, I think Jackie, after the show, we should pass by Mr. Mogisha's office and you say, UBC, what's happening? Up?
Yes.
What is happening? You might miss out on the
goodness,
on the prize that she's talking about.
I know, right?
But to be included in the money economy is very important.
Right.
That the biggest problem is access to cheap credit. Banks have been playing that role, but at a very expensive rate. And you've seen people suffer with their properties taken because, one, these other people who give financial services do not engage in education. But in cooperatives, you must engage in education first. You must educate the members, give them options, and show them direction as to where they should invest.
Right.
So the education bit gives you inclusion because you now take action based on an understanding. You see, to make choice, you must know what you are choosing.
True.
If cooperatives didn't engage into education, then it would be no different from other players in the financial sector. So we are saying for the small person who cannot open an account in a bank, open your account in a SACCO. For you, the small farmer who cannot sell your produce alone, join a produce cooperative and sell as one. we're talking about coffee. Coffee farmers, you join a cooperative. They have been there for some time. There are some old cooperatives that were there, I think pre-1986, but they were very politicized, reaching 1986. And that is why the sector fell a bit until now. UCA revived the spirit and removed politics from cooperatives,
yes.
and now the movement is growing to include everyone. Because formerly they would look at you and ascertain, is this one supporting?
Which color is your blood?
So inclusion in the financial sector is because cooperatives are now open and they are non-discriminatory, in that everyone can join and be a member of a cooperative at any level.
Which curbs the discrimination level, but also allows inclusivity in all forms.
It doesn't matter whether woman, man, short, tall, fat, or just come in, as long as your aspirations meet the aspirations of the founders of the cooperative. And the beauty is, with democratic control in cooperatives, we are now seeing a rise of we are in a generation where the Gen Zs are very many.
Yes.
So perhaps in 2005, the founders maybe of Police Exodus SACCO, some of them have long passed on. There were no use of computers at that time. But now we have a website, we have usage of the phone. So that is also including this new age, the new generation that is high tech, so that we don't leave anyone behind. And we are encouraging you. If you are young, your next destination is old. So once you're still young, you have to save and invest for your old age. I again refer to the president. He says, don't work for cham. So save, because if I go to SACCOs, you must save. Once you have put your money in a pool, then you can afford to get very cheap credit. So you are saving for credit. And some ask that, what about my savings? Can I have access to them? Yes. Once you put your savings in a pool, they become our savings, all of us. And whatever, because cooperatives do not make profits, they make surplus. Their intention is not to make profits, but is to take care of the members' financial needs. And God willing, if there is a surplus of the need, then it is plowed back to the members to say, members, in our interaction and cooperation, we got some benefit. What do we do with it? And the law says you have to plow it back into the cooperative and only give some minimal part in form of dividends to the members. Why? We are talking about sustainability. You do not do actions that benefit only you in a short period of time.
That's true.
Probably our forefathers who put this country in order, they are not doing it for themselves. The president is not working for himself. He's working such that the Ugandans who will be here long after we have left can say, yeah, those people took a decision to make something sustainable. So going to the theme, like inclusion, sustainability, whatever you do today should have an impact on someone who will come 50 years long after you have gone. I've said 20 years ago, some of those who formed Police Exodus SACCO are no longer with us. They did not receive the benefits that the members are currently enjoying.
Yes.
So for us now, who are in Police Exodus SACCO, we are saying, how do we leave an institution that 20 years after us, somebody will be saying that, yeah, at that time of Omoding, they left something that was very big. So inclusion, take part, be a member of the SACCO. You can begin as a Chibina. It is it's very okay. UCA always gives free education.
True.
Contact them, they give you free education. And they can even help you, I think, in the legal documentation for you now to join and become a cooperative. How do you benefit? Our #1 cooperator, the president, decided that cooperatives are adding a lot to the economy and they should not be taxed. So if you want to get the cooperative advantage, form a cooperative, and whatever you do it as a cooperative, and you get that tax benefit. So there are so many things now. Currently, the PDM is based on a cooperative model.
Yes.
And
actually, if you say that, I think the president should now be more involved, use the UCA more in launching and evaluating the PDM model, because you realize some of it, the money is being swindled left, right, and center. You know, he has to be on ground himself to supervise, yet the UCA is here to help him do that ideally.
True to that, and I give kudo to also the Secretary General of UCA, Mr. Ivan Nshimiye.
Right.
He's an inspiration. He's one of the people who presented the policy to the president for that cooperatives should not be taxed. Why? If I am saving, these are savings from my earnings, which have already been taxed.
That's true.
So why are you taxing again my savings? So that is double taxation. And the president understood it and put it forward. And what you say is true. The PDM is based on the cooperative model. So like you say, if there is any evaluation to be done, I think the Ministry of Finance should hand over oversight to UCA.
If you think about it, instead of the president.
How will it stop the swindling? You see, cooperatives are mandated to hold accountability each year in what you call an annual general meeting.
True.
So in that way, you have got to present your budget.
The report has to
come. Yes. And we promote openness in cooperatives. Openness. Lay it down and say, this is what came in, this is what was spent, this is what we have. So if to really hold the cooperative model of PDM, then yeah, UCA must really play
yes, indeed. I highly do agree with you. And if our Jaja is watching, surely indeed. Jaja, it's about time you included the UCA in the PDM model. I think it will solve many solutions in regards to the corruption scandals that come from the sides to attack the beautiful model, the PDM model that you are pushing for Ugandans to get out of poverty. 0709602592 is the WhatsApp number for you to engage and share that question that you want to ask, or share your opinion at that. Coming to you, Jacqueline, as we look forward to celebrating the 5th of July, what do you think this day adds to the cooperatives movement in Uganda?
Thank you, Julie. Now, the usual suspects.
Yes.
CPA Ivan, the usual suspect.
Yes.
Is always here every Wednesday.
True,
telling the world that there has to be awareness of cooperatives. There's been a lot of unawareness. People are not yet aware. The other day I was on radio, one of the radios around.
Yes.
And a caller called in and said, what is this about cooperatives? What do they mean by cooperatives? For us, we have our small village saving group out there. Is it also called a cooperative?
Yes.
So people do not know.
I will testify. I will testify. It's for as long as I've worked with UBC.
Yes.
that I've understood that, oh, I've always been a part of a cooperative and I just
And
did
you
not
did not know. You
yes,
get
I'm
it.
part of YSEV.
And you don't even
But
know where to go and
I
get
only learned.
redress in
Yes.
case you have disputes.
Yes.
UCA is there.
Yes.
You do not know where to register. You do not know that actually a SACCO is formed by 30 people that come together. Other people are just 10 and they are calling themselves SACCOs. They are not even registered. So that kind of awareness, that is what we are now going to educate. When I told you about the symposium, these are the things that are going to come out. Secondly, I've always been, you know, the first time I came here, I talked about digitization. We are now no longer in the analog era.
Yes.
We are now digital. Everything that we do has to be digitalized. All the systems have to be digitalized. So now we want to create that kind of awareness that cooperatives can actually work very efficiently and effectively when they are digitized. That is why now we are partnering with NITA-U. We are partnering with the Ministry of ICT. They are going to come down there at the symposium and they will talk about how do we include our cooperatives into this world, this modern world of digitization. How do they become innovative in their works?
And how do they track their money flows?
For example, a cooperative like Toro Dairy, they produce lots of milk. Now, how do you now make it digital? For it, you know, that is why, you know, cooperatives in Korea, cooperatives in Germany, you know, this thing, cooperatives, is not only here in Uganda. It is something very big out there. But for them, they've digitized their systems in that when it comes to exporting, everything is digital. You're not going to go there physically because it wastes time, it wastes resources. So now how can we tap onto that to educate our cooperatives? Then the other thing also, why this day is very important, is that it is bringing all these cooperators together. You know, cooperators are going to exhibit all their services and products. We are going to have an exhibition. It's going to be massive and huge. And actually, we call upon people to come and support and put money in this function so that it becomes big. It becomes the event of the year that everyone is going to be talking about, the International Day of Cooperatives. How do you do that? Bring your products. Come and exhibit. People are out there. There is a cooperative called Bushika. It's a SACCO in Mbale. Those people have produced coffee. They are producing coffee, very high quality coffee. I think it is on the standard, that gentleman talked about a standard. I don't remember very well, but that is a standard which is actually at the same standard as the coffee from Germany that is being imported in Uganda. You can imagine. As we are producing, we are exporting coffee, and yet the coffee that we are importing is even of higher quality. But now these people have added value into their coffee. Now that is the kind of coffee, the exhibition, the showcasing. We want to sit down there in Fort Portal-Boma grounds. People, bring your honey. There is a lady, our deputy chairperson at UCA. She is producing honey with her cooperative there. But, you know, that lady gave us a testimony, a success story of how this honey, you cannot throw anything out when you start producing honey. Even these combs, you can go and attract more bees to come. There's something, what are they called, those honeycombs? You can use those honeycombs to actually attract bees, again, to continue with the cycle. She talked about propolis. She talked about beeswax that you can use as wax candles. The Vaseline we use as ladies. We men, even there are things that she talked about that men can use in becoming, you know, the network going up there using honey. So when you come and now exhibit these kinds of products, we get to understand, we get to know that actually you are a cooperative. Instead of, you know, cooperatives have assets. You will concur with me, Afande. There are very many assets in in SACCOs that are just lying bare. The other day we were in Gulu. I told you that time we were in Gulu. And people are having resources. They have land, square miles and square miles of land. They have assets, they have machines that are just lying bare. Now, if you come and showcase that kind of thing, you don't even have to grab your entire machine to come to the ground, but you just produce a brochure. Tell us that this is what now Busaiga SACCO is doing in terms of cooperatives. That is the kind of awareness we are talking about. I also want to say something small about the cooperative bank. You know, still the thanks go back to the Ministry of Trade and also our GS, the usual suspect. He has been crying for a cooperative bank, and I'm happy to announce and say that last week we actually launched it. Now, we did not launch it under these tiers of banks, because now for a actual bank there has to be a threshold. For example, tier 1 has to have 500 billion. Tier 2 is it having 200, and which cooperators are not yet there. Even tier 3, which is under the MDIs and the MFIs, it has to have at least a threshold of 5 billion. So what we decided to go for tier 4, because that one you're not expected to have any certain capital, you know, threshold. So as we grow, and many commitments actually came in terms of capitalizing this bank. We called it the National Finance Cooperative Society, because it now brings together all the societies, and we bank our money there. You get it? And there are very many benefits in the cooperative bank. So now as we grow and we capitalize and we make sure we inject money in this society as the general society for cooperators, now it becomes a bank, and it will be regulated by Bank of Uganda. But there are very many things and benefits that we can, any cooperator here can actually agree with me that when we have our own bank, we used to have it, though it kind of got, I think, because of political things and what, it's no longer there. But you go to Tanzania, go to Kenya. Kenya, theirs, I think, has been there since 1960s. Yeah? Tanzania, it was just the other day that they made theirs the National Bank of Cooperators. National. So if we can also call ours, we can also come together. We've already started. The ministry is behind us. The president is behind us. Everyone is behind us. So we have started this, and we are ready to run with it. So when we also come and tell the cooperators on that day that you people, we have started a bank, and then we get all this commitment, people will come, and we shall be able to capitalize, to put capital in our bank, so that it now stops being referred to as a society, and now it becomes a bona fide bank.
Very profound indeed. Now let me get into your comments. You are watching, first and foremost, you're watching UBC TV. Good Morning Uganda is the name of the show. And if you found us halfway, we are looking forward to celebrating the International Day of Cooperatives and the advantages that cooperatives have for Uganda. Every Wednesday we are learning about cooperatives and having different players in the field of cooperatives. And today we do have Afande with us, Afande Allan Nshimiye with us. He is from Exodus SACCO, and Jacqueline Zawedde, who is a representative of the UCA, to talk about this day, but also some cooperatives at large. Hello, good morning. Thank you for the program. Watching you live from Arua City, Herbert Afayo. And you say, I love the program and the conversation you're having, so enriching intellectually. I would say cooperatives are game changers. They empower communities, promote economic democracy, and foster social responsibility by prioritizing member benefits over profits corps, and can drive positive change and build more equitable societies. Happy International Day of Cooperatives. Thank you, Herbert, for being on the show. Afande, the cancer of frauds as the major obstacle to the organic growth of cooperatives has been underlooked. We need to involve the experts in this area. I would like to engage your office for this. Odeke Julius, Manager Operations and Trainings at Investing Financials Uganda. Good morning, I'm Ibra from Naminya Jinja. For real, thank you for the good ideas. Afande, we are ever on UBC TV. Good morning, I'm Jadribo Luwai, messaging you from Yumbe District. This program is very good, and it's the only way to monetize the economy. But other ways can be employed to ensure that the message reaches the majority of Ugandans in the country. And through more emphasis on the leadership of cooperatives that mostly have personal economic interests than serving the interest of the union. I mean, throw more light on the leadership. I wonder what leadership he means here. I don't know if it's of the UCA or on government side.
No, I think if I were to get that right, he meant the leadership within the SACCOs themselves.
Okay.
You know, there are challenges there.
Right.
And we've always been we've always been talking about this, that there are governance challenges in the leadership within the SACCOs.
Right.
There's a lot of corruption.
True.
There's a lot of embezzlement of money. You have brought your money to be kept, instead the leadership decides to go and run away with it.
Yeah.
But now, UCA now comes in, because our mandate is also to alleviate those kinds of disputes. If there is any kind of dispute, there is actually a law that tells you the trends where you have to go in order to reach us, in order to alleviate those kinds of disputes. Because it is a whole kind of legal system that we have to go through so that we can have solutions to those kinds of problems. But now the other time also, we were having a training in Kigezi, and they resolved that whenever we have this kind of challenges, especially among the leadership of the SACCOs, let us sideline them. Let us blacklist them so that they do not appear anywhere. Because for us, we want to transform our SACCO. We want to grow it. And then when you bring in the issues of corruption, the issues of embezzlement, we blacklist you. Now, you see, when you take a loan,
right,
and you do not pay back, there's the CB, is it called the CB what? That bank system that monitors the kind your financial capability, whether you're able to
CRB.
The CRB, yes, whether you're able to get a loan or not. It will put a curtail on you in that you will not be able to get a loan elsewhere as long as you have a loan in this bank. You get it? And your financial status will be very black and very dirty.
Yes.
You will not be able to get any kind of loan. So that is the kind of blacklist we are talking about, that any kind of leadership, any kind of governance in a SACCO that has question marks on it, that is corrupt and, engaging in those kind of fraud kind of activities, we blacklist you as a corporate. Because for us, corporators, we are a union, we are corporators, we come together, we know each other. I know here Afande Allan, I know someone from Wazalendo, I know someone, we are together. So now, if Afande Allan, God forbid, is a leader of, let's say, Exodus, and now we get to hear that he has embezzled money, everyone will blacklist him. You might even be that he's very good guard of honor might even be undressed stripped off from him. Yes. That is the kind of sideline and blacklist that we want. So that people now get that trust and confidence in joining SACCOs.
All right, yes. Very profound indeed.
Maybe to add on that.
Yes, please.
If you go per law, 55L, Section 55L of the Cooperatives Act as amended 2020 says that each cooperative must engage an external auditor. Of course, 55I and K talk about audit committee and internal auditor. Those are internal within the SACCO. Right. However, let's say each cooperative, SACCOs, whether produce cooperative or whatever, must have external audit. External people coming in to check. And these auditors do not come from the SACCO itself to choose, but there's a list of external auditors by the registrar of cooperatives, and I think they're also associated to UCA. So they are outsiders who come in and check your books to stem any kind of corruption. So advise all cooperatives have engage services of external auditors. And if I give an example of Police Exodus SACCO, our books have been audited and reports have been sent to the registrar. Registrar has powers of even removing the board. But if let's say there was engagement in fraud, by now we wouldn't be part of the board, because the registrar will make sure, and UCA, CPA, the general secretary usually comes to our AGM. We submit all these books. This kind of openness is the one that helps Exodus SACCO to stay afloat.
Right.
Otherwise, would have sunk. You would have heard that these billions were lost. But we are on a system, because when Afande Omoding was coming in, his was about transparency. Put the things there open. Let everybody read.
Access, yes.
And if you, maybe next year, through the chairman, I would say we invite you to attend our AGM. If you see the kind of the attention to details our members during the AGM, even a 5,000 shilling that is looking offside, they say, explain this.
Right.
And they do not leave. Sometimes we ask the registrar for extension of time, but we never leave the AGM until answering all questions, and our members go when they are satisfied. And also, there's somebody who said you put profits above. You see, once cooperatives must operate on a system of people, planet, and then profits. You have to think about the people first,
Right.
then think about the community, the environment, and then now that is when you can begin talking about profits. Because without the first two, you are basically not doing anything. I think the principle is, I can say it's akin to Ubuntu. Because Ubuntu says people first. When you get in my local language, they say gira Ubuntu, ugire abantu, abantu baguhe ibintu. That
If you are
be
for
with
people,
yes,
they will be for you, and they will give you.
They will give you things. So you just have to be open, be humane, and follow the principles of cooperatives. And the principles of cooperatives in the schedule, in the third schedule of the Act, they are clearly well laid down, and you must work in the interest of the people at whatever you do, in good faith.
Right. Thank you, Afande, and thank you so much for being on the show. We bring this to a close, but let me read these comments as we start to close. Now, somebody, you did not leave your name first and foremost, but you sent your video of planting a tree to us. The number is not, we are not the ones who received this video. It's UCA that's supposed to receive that video. Jacqueline, please read that number again.
The number is 0776 31 2250.
Right.
Yes.
Please send the video to that number. You've planted a mango seed for a mango tree. Send the video to UCA so that you stand a chance to win your big prize. I'm Kimaleni Michael, listening from Bududa District. Thank you for the show, for the program. It's nice, but UCA, please also do not educate Ugandans on just TV. Not everyone accesses TV. Please take the program to radios as well. The message has been delivered, and that brings us to the end of today's conversation on cooperatives, as we always do every Wednesday. Next Wednesday is another day of cooperatives. Looking forward to learning more and engaging more. So save the number so that you are always able to interact to any show that airs on UBC TV. 0709 602 592. For now, it's a good morning. Enjoy the rest of the day. GMU Express is up next.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, me don't know.
UK
can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks, Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information.